Hello and welcome back to Greetings from Cybertron, the Capes of Lunatics only YouTube exclusive show. I am Phil. Joining me as always, Robot Master himself.
I am Matt. Robot Master Matt.
Prime Day Man? I don't know. But yeah, we mentioned Robot Master because this week we're going to be covering Transformers number 15. First appearance of Robot Master. Get very meta. We'll talk about a comic book in a comic book.
Yes. Like that.
And we can try to figure out who he's supposed to be in that 1950s Marvel bullpen.
It's not Bruce Springsteen. We already went over that last episode.
Yep. Nope. Although that got a good response. I shared that with Jesse Jackson, who does the Set Listing Bruce Springsteen podcast, and he was like, he shared it, and then he's like, I didn't know this existed. He's like, I need to have this now.
Yeah, I didn't go to karaoke and do a Rick Springstern version of any Springsteen songs, but not outside the realm of possibilities. So.
Included in the act.
That's right.
But yeah, before we jump into the comic, this week it was Prime Day. That everyone remembers Optimus Prime died for our sins, right?
Rest in peace, OP. R.I.P. OP.
I still remember my 8-year-old self sitting in the theater. Is like, what?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard stuff.
No, he's a machine. Rebuild him. It's like the old Yeller thing. Anyway. So, should we get into this issue?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Do you want to start us off?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, we see you already kind of teased it. The cover shows a cover of a comic book called Robot Master with a similar font to Transformers. Same price, same date, nothing in pence or Canadian money.
Yeah.
But that's what they stuck in the approved by the comic code on the comic within a comic and not the actual one. So is this approved? I don't know. But
they have pictures of actual Transformers on the cover of Robot Master.
Yes. Yeah. These are not ads for GoBots or anything.
No.
And then you see, open up the page right past the M&M's ad, and you got Megatron tussling some big-time machinery. Title, I, Robot Master. Megatron hungers. For weeks, he's furiously plunged through the wilderness of the northwestern United States, desperately searching for something to end the echoing ache stabbing at the core of his massive form. Finally, chemical sensors within his head module, detected the savory scent of hydrocarbons and directed him here to its source. The strip mine in the coal-rich Powder River basin of eastern Wyoming. And he is huge over the miners. Fuel! I want fuel! And then we get the lineup, the credits. Well, Buddy Ansky, the writer, Don Perlin, penciler, Keith Williams, the inker, Janice Chiang, letterer, El Yomtov, colorist, Michael Carlin, editor, and Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief.
Did we say April 1986?
April 86, yes. I did not say that.
But yeah, Megatron is jonesing for some. So do Transformers have taste buds? Because it's like the savory scent of fuel.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
unleaded's a little bit better than non-leaded, I guess. Leaded? Yeah. Unleaded would be the same thing as non-leaded.
Be spicy. Yeah. All right, so yeah, Megatron's ripping apart this construction equipment. We see the big rip, and none shall deny me. And he flings part of one machine into another. Crunk. Megatron's getting crunk.
He's getting crunk. He's ripping it up.
He wants to get crunk on that fuel. But yeah, and then he's stepping on another bulldozer or something. He's like, "It is my destiny to rule this putrid planet. Its riches are rightfully mine. I claim them now." As he picks up a dump truck and I guess tries to eat some coal. Okay, he goes, "Fa! These black stones are indigestible. I must look for fuel, else."
He can't pass those stones. And then he looks over his shoulder, sees a bunch of miners. It stopped, dead in its tracks, frozen like an overgrown ice cube. But how come? Maybe it just ran out of gas. Then later, in the foothills of Oregon's the Cascade Mountains, a car carrying Walter Barnett approaches a restricted government building. Yeah, this must be Walter Barnett thinking, something big must be up for them to call me in on such short notice. A report on what to do about the robot problem isn't due for a week. I sure need the time. I haven't a single clue on how to handle them yet. Foresight must have some reasoning for calling a meeting of Triple I's. That is the U.S. government's top secret intelligence information institute. The executive board, hope it's a good one.
Then we see the guy at the head of the table say, "Have a seat, Walt. We're about to start. As you all know, Triple Y has been asked to do something the military has so far failed to do: protect the public from the giant robot menace." Sorry. Since we're not equipped to defuse this threat with weaponry, we must use our wits to come up with an explanation the public will buy. We've been trying to find out who's behind the robots. A hostile foreign power, perhaps? A secret terrorist organization? We don't know. We don't know when we will. But we need a plan now. And Barnett's thinking, Forsyth sounds even grimmer than usual. And Forsyth is going on. Recently, the robots' activities have increased markedly. For example, we see images on the screen recently, or for example, a high school football stadium was trampled to splinters, which they don't give you an editor's note, but that was what, issue 5? The BlackRock Aerospace Assembly Plant was overrun. What was that? Issue 7, I think?
Yeah, maybe.
And just days ago, which was last issue, the lives of 80,000 people were jeopardized at a rock concert. In every case, public awareness of this problem spread, and with it, public hysteria. Earlier today, one of the robots appeared in a mining pit and for reasons unknown became immobile. This is our first captive. But many others remain and all must be destroyed. And then we see, you've all heard of Mr. G.B. BlackRock, president of the BlackRock corporate conglomerate. I've invited him here since he's had a lot of firsthand experience with the robots. Mr. BlackRock.
Folks, these robots are certainly dangerous, but not all of them threaten us. I know some of them. Believe it or not, they're living creatures from another planet, and they're divided into 2 warring camps. First, there are the Autobots, a noble, honorable group. They helped me to recover my aerospace plant. They seek to stop the Decepticons from conquering this planet. The first step in solving this problem is distinguishing between the 2 groups. The Autobots can be our allies. We must. He gets interrupted. Thank you, Mr. BlackRock, for your time. I know you're a busy man, but I had more to. We'll be in touch if we require your expertise again. Yeah, glad I could help. So he seems to be dismissed as a total quack. And then he says, whether the robots are good or bad is irrelevant. Although evidence exists to support some of what BlackRock said, however preposterous it sounded, all robots are to be considered a threat. I expect each of you back here within 48 hours with a proposal on how to reduce the risk of public panic. Otherwise, don't bother to come in, ever. Soon. 48 hours? What am I going to think of in 48 hours? And he walks into his house, his little kid playing with some toys. Daddy, you're back. Stevie.
I love your GB BlackRock was played by Robert De Niro. There's 2 warring camps. I hear things.
I things.
So Barnett's yelling at his son, Stevie, I thought I told you to keep this place neat. Clean up this mess now. Stevie's like, sorry, Dad. Wait a second. What's that? Let me see it. My Robot Master comic book? I am Robot Master, and no power on this world or any other can stop my robot army. Interesting. And I guess that's when Barnett's wife walks in. Walt, did you just get in? I thought I heard you yelling at Stevie. Nate says, honey, I'll explain later. I have to run now. Catch a plane to New York.
That's a pretty brief visit home. I just came in to confiscate my kid's comic book and not want to interact with my wife.
But he can't tell her about the robots or anything. So it's like, yeah, honey, I have to leave. My mistress is waiting. Goodbye. But yes, later at the New York City offices of a famous comic book publishing company, because it's you see the address is 387. Was that Park Avenue?
Park Ave South. Yeah.
I believe wasn't that the address of Marvel Comics?
Perhaps it was.
I believe it was. Yeah. Because if you look at the credits on the bottom of the first page, it says, send y'all all address changes to Transformers, 387 Park Avenue South, New York.
Oh,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're not going to send them over to DC. Come on. Then we see for the last time, Finkelberg, Robot Master is canceled, kaput. And I'm not interested in doing a potato salad man graphic novel called This Man, This Mayonnaise either. But boss, just give me a chance. I can tell any story. Any story.
And then you see moments later in the reception area, there's the classic Hulk and Captain America over the reception desk. The guy says, "Are you Donnie Finkelberg, writer of Robot Master?" Receptionist says, "That's him."
I love how she's on the phone, but she still stops to say, "Yeah, that's him."
You got that half right. I was the writer. Who wants to know? He says, "I'm Walter Barnett. Glad to meet you. I represent an agent of the United States government. We're ready to pay you a substantial sum if you can be of service to us. Let me take you to lunch and fill you in on the details." Sure, I'm always interested in a new business opportunity. And thanks, and a free lunch. Those cheap comic book guys. Then, at a nearby coffee shop.
At a nearby coffee shop, that's really
It does look Seinfeld-esque. And now he has changed his jacket. He's not wearing a schlubby green army jacket. He's wearing like a white, fancy Hollywood exec type of jacket with his turtleneck.
Who are these robots?
So you saw my work in Robot Master and think I can use my creative talents to concoct some phony story for your agency to feed the American public concerning these robots? Precisely. We're desperate for ideas. And Triple I is willing to pay me $25,000. If we like what you propose, yes. He's thinking to himself, it's a lot of comic book writing, and the timing could be better. Yeah, it's a deal. As he lights his cigarette, you might say these robots might be living creatures from another planet. That's too far out. People will be jumping off bridges if that story goes around. But how about if some human claimed to control the robots for some radical terrorist purposes? People would worry, but at least it's something they can understand and accept. They see it every night on the 6 o'clock news. Somebody like my Robot Master character. The public would eat it up. It's a great idea. Now we'll have someone to blame. Should the robots do something, all we need is an actor to play Robot Master, so we can broadcast him over TV. Of course, we don't want to let this scheme get around to more people than necessary. Would you like to double that $25,000?
I love Buddy Ansky's like, oh yes, my fantasy. The U.S. government needs a comic book writer.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, it kind of didn't happen with comic books, but the movie Argo.
Oh yeah.
Screenwriter. Yeah. Hollywood hits.
All right. Very specific time. 6 p.m. The next day, inside Mount St. Hilary, a volcano in Oregon's Cascade Range, lies the Ark, the crippled alien spacecraft that brought the Transformers to Earth 4 million years ago. And then we see, sorry, Optimus, but that was a complete waste of fuel. Our patrol didn't even turn up one single Decepticon microchip. And Optimus says, that in no way diminishes the value of your mission, Bumblebee. We Autobots must be ever vigilant. And is that hoist and well oiled? I want you three to pull into my maintenance bay for inspection now. Are we always to be subject to the indignities hoist inflicts upon our bodies?
Ooh, this is some weird entendres
Yeah.
corresponding with the ad on the page before.
Oh, yeah, because, about how to prevent sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Yikes. And as Bumblebee tracks and Skids transform back into robot modes, Skid says, "You know the rules, Tracks. Every 1,200 miles or 4 Earth weeks, whatever comes first, we get a checkup. It's for our own good." Hoist, "Thanks for the words of support, Skids. We'll start with you, Bumble." And then they interrupted because Will Jack, who's strangely changed color to match Hoist, says, "Commander Optimus Prime, this is Will Jack. I'm relaying to your area a transmission I'm receiving here at the ARC's monitoring center from a local television broadcast frequency. I think you'll find it interesting." And up on the screen, we see, "People of the world, I am Robot Master. The mechanical monsters that have been recently terrorizing the United States Pacific Northwest region are under my control."
And then, after he's shaking his fist, he looks the same. He doesn't have a turtleneck, and he does have kind of a weird cape, but he has a visor like what the Hitman Art sunglasses, 80s wrestling icon. And then continuing to watch it. I have convincingly demonstrated that their power is without limits, that they are unstoppable. Optimus, are his circuits disconnected? Who is this mad human? More importantly, what is his reason for making such a foolish, patently false claim of supremacy over the Transformers? Meanwhile, across the country, the broadcast arouses strong opinions in all who witness it in homes. I bet the communists are behind this. This is a family eating dinner. And TV says, "I will make my demands known in the near future." And then a classic department store shot with all the TVs, people looking on from the street. "I bet the PLO is behind this." That's a People's Liberation
Is it
Offense? I don't know.
Palestine?
Well, I don't even know. Yeah, maybe. Until then, I leave you with this warning. And in the executive office of BlackRock Enterprise, people of Earth, I bet the government is behind this. Submit to the will of Robot Master. And then you see BlackRock. Forsyth and his crew must have created this idiot. Those jerks. And then you see him inside the ZBS TV studio. Or be trampled beneath the feet of my robot army. And then, you got the shady McGruff-looking guy, probably behind this, pulling the strings. Great. With our satellite hookup, every TV program in America was interrupted by that broadcast, and no one will be able to trace it here. Triple I's own studio.
And then we see, once the cameras go off, was it Finkelberg is like, "Woo, I'm glad that's over. I never wanted to pose as this guy in the first place." And Barnett says, "You did a great job, Donnie. You should be happy." It's like, "Yeah, I guess I was pretty convincing, wasn't I? Given a chance, I can tell any story. Still, I'd just as soon get back to writing them instead of performing them." And Barnett says, "No problem. Your job's done here. Stop by anytime tomorrow and your check will be waiting for you." And Donnie's like, "Is 9 a.m. too early?" But at 8:30 a.m. the following day in an exclusive neighborhood on Portland's west side, "What's going on here?" And we see a bunch of reporters. "Mr. Blackrock, do you recall seeing Robot Master when the robots invaded your aerospace plant? Was he involved in the robots' assault on your offshore oil drilling platform?" And Blackrock saying, "Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I never saw Robot Master till last night on TV, and I'm sure no one else did either." And they're like, "Are you saying he didn't exist before last night? What do you mean by that statement?" Or, "No comment. Excuse me, fellas. I have to get to work." And we see him go up to his limo. "Your car, sir." But he sees the car sitting behind his limo. Thanks, Jeffries. I'll wait a moment. That car. What's he doing here? I think I'll drive by myself today." "As you wish, sir." And we see this millionaire getting in a yellow Yellow beetle.
Nothing suspicious about that.
I know. I'm waiting for the reporter to say, "What's going on? Where's he go? Where's he going?" That he don't want to be noticed. Mr. Blackrock, are you suggesting that Robo Master is a hoax? Look, I'm not suggesting anything. Don't you guys have an ambulance to chase? And he continues.
They're not lawyers.
I know. He knows something. Yep.
Moments later. He's driving down inside a Bumblebee. Bumblebee is conversing with him through the windshield. All right, Bumblebee, fess up. What brings you here? Optimus was hoping you could explain the meaning of this Robot Master broadcast. I'm pretty certain it's a public relations scam by the government to explain your presence. It sure beats telling the truth that you're living creatures from another planet. But we Autobots want to help. Why didn't Robot Master distinguish us from the Decepticons? To the government, you're all a threat. I tried to tell them you guys could be your allies, but they didn't want to listen. I'll try later. I'll try again. We'd be most grateful. One last question. Why would any human believe a story as ridiculous as Robot Masters? Don't underestimate the power of television. Bum. Term of endearment.
Okay.
Don't underestimate the power of television, bum. The people believe what the president says on the tube about balance. If the people believe what the president says on the tube about balancing the budget, they'll believe anything. So that's it. Take that, Reagan. Did you hear that, Walt? That newscaster said Robot Master is a fake, and all because of BlackRock's big mouth. I heard it. Get a hold of BlackRock. Tell him to recant what he said and then nail his mouth shut before our story is blown completely out of the water. Right away, Mr. Forsyth. And they're watching the news on a big weird TV. In a related story, we've just received this photo from a confidential source who says it was taken at the Culversion coal mine in Wyoming. It appears to show a captive robot. What? How'd they get past security? I want to find out who's responsible for knock knock. Hold on, this could be the break we need. Excuse me, fellas, but I have a 10:30 flight, so if I could just pick up my paycheck. Donnie, good to see you, but why run home so quickly, especially when you can double that money by staying just one more day?
Easy money. And at the Ark, see Wheeljack saying, using the information provided in the broadcast, I pinpointed Megatron's location, Optimus. Optimus says, well done, Wheeljack. Transmit the coordinates to my mapping circuitry. We have a microsecond to waste. Prime had like the first GPS. And as he's transforming, he's saying, the humans in that area have no idea how dangerous Megatron is. We must bring him here for safekeeping. Bumblebee, tracks, skids, transform. And then he says,
Autobots, roll out.
Nice.
But a short time later in downtown Portland, we see a shop owner in an electronics store. Yeah, it's a rather unusual portable cassette deck. Never seen another one like it. Found it in front of the store one morning of all places. And we see a young redheaded woman saying, how much for it? And the tape player's thinking, it is time for the signal. And the shop owners, I don't know. Let's see how it plays first. It came with this tape, but then it lets out a loud screeching noise.
Oh. Holy mackerel, what's happening? And the tape transforms into Prowl? Is that Prowl?
Ravage.
Ravage, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, Ravage 2099. The cassette you played just transformed into a Jaguar. And the Jaguar, Ravage, jumps out with a cassette deck in its mouth, kind of. In a fraction of a second, the rampaging Decepticon Ravage makes his exit, taking the cassette deck, otherwise known as Soundwave, with him. Responding to Soundwave's sonic signal, Laserbeak and Buzzsaw swoop down from their hidden nearby perches, and the four Decepticons fly off into the eastern sky. A few hours later, you see Megatron. Megatron is still frozen there. You got a helicopter landing. That's it, Donnie. Some sight, huh? It sure is mean looking for a tin can, Walt, and ugly. And then Megatron, still frozen, stewing, thinking to himself, for that remark, I will crush you into a protoplasmic pulp fleshling when I can move again.
Ooh. Then we see them get out of the copter, and you sure it's safe to get close to it? And Barnett says, "Don't worry, it hasn't budged an inch in 3 days. The most it can do is rust." And then we see Donnie's that old junk pile still gives me the creeps. Let's do whatever I came here to do and get out of this hole as he lights his match off of Megatron's foot. Megatron's scowling at him. Barnett says, this is the setup. In an hour, you'll be broadcast nationally from this site and claim this robot is just an example of all the robots under your control. Our story's credibility will improve 1,000%. And Donnie's thinking, and so will my bank accounts. I like it. It's a solid story. And then, hey, what's that? We selling tickets to my performance? Was that another helicopter?
Yeah. And then it's BlackRock. BlackRock, glad you answered my invitation. Look, you have to do us a favor. Publicly take back what you said about Robot Master. BlackRock, obviously, incensed. Take it back! You look at it and say more, like how idiotic it is to have government policy lump potential allies like the Autobots in the same boat with the menaces like the Decepticons. You've got to reconsider. Says there's nothing to reconsider. If you don't want to help us, butt out. We'll get by without you. Says maybe you will, but mull this over. How long do you think the Decepticons are going to tolerate this clown claiming to be their leader? Hey, I resent being called a... What do you mean? I mean, cigarette smoking isn't going to be the only hazard to this guy's health. I hope he made out his will. And a cigarette drops from his mouth.
Yeah. But then up on the hill, we see, halt, you guys are trespassing. Hey, what's the commotion up there? And BlackRock yells, those are Autobots. And Megatron thinking, what are those loathsome losers doing here? And then we see Optimus as all the Autobots are transforming. Humans, we come in peace. And the guards are saying, what's happening to them? I'll sound the alarm. Optimus is saying, please direct us to the commander of this operation. We wish to speak with him. When the guards, don't move or we'll fire. And the Autobots just ignore them and start walking down. The suspicions of these humans are wasting valuable time. We'll have to find the commander ourselves. And we see Bumblebee. Optimus. Below I see GB BlackRock, along with the one who claimed to be our leader on the TV broadcast. Surely BlackRock will aid us. But before the Autobots can contact their human friend, the humans attack without provocation. The savages fire at will. My incendiary missiles will burn them to a carbon-based crisp, says Trax. No, Trax. The only way to prove our peaceful intentions is not to retaliate. Bumblebee says, and Optimus says, Bumblebee is right.
Bam. Then Optimus puts up his hand to halt. Humans, we mean no harm. We come here to protect you. And the tank fires on him. Oh, wait, no, he said, sorry, is that Trax? See, they do listen to reason. That's Bumblebee. See, they do listen to reason. Well, maybe your blam tank shoots at him. BlackRock grabbing him by the collar. Tell these soldiers to cease fire. Can't you see the Autobots came here to help us? Don't be a fool, man. They came here to free their comrade. Then why don't they fight back? Why? Megatron still looking over his shoulder as the Decepticons land. Look, more robots, but those are Decepticons. Buzzsaw and Laserbeak with Soundwave and Ravage. And they talk to him. Megatron, we come to free you as they transform.
And Laserbeak drops a canister as Soundwave says, thank you, Laserbeak. And Megatron's thinking, fuel. That's what I crave. And we see Soundwave saying, from my covert observation post at a fleshling video establishment, that sounds dirty, I discovered your predicament. I quickly planned this rescue mission. This should return you to operational status, as he just looks like he's fueling up Megatron at the gas, like a gas pump on the side. And Megatron's thinking, it flows through me, power flooding my circuits. Once again, Megatron functions. As he starts moving, and it looks like he has a gate in his mouth.
Yeah. Braces.
So, yeah. something. And he starts firing on the humans, and Megatron destroys. Tremble, fleshlings.
Tremble before the might of Megatron, your new master. Led by the murderous Megatron, the Decepticons sweep throughout the strip mine, demolishing all in their path. The human vehicle...
No human vehicle.
Oh, no human vehicle or weapon can withstand their awesome onslaught. And as for the Autobots, the only ones who possess the power to oppose them... Retreat, Autobots! We have already suffered too much damage from the humans' attack. Combating the Decepticons now in our present condition would mean certain doom. If the humans had only listened to us instead of shooting at us... What, did you expect, Skids? Their ways are barbaric at best. The Autobots transform into vehicles again. And Bumblebee. But Blackrock, how could he be part of this? He's our friend. At least I thought he was. Do not judge humans too harshly, Autobots. They are only capable of acting upon what they understand, and apparently they do not yet understand us. Slowly, painfully, the battered Autobots drive away from the strip mine.
And soon, see Megatron raising his fist in victory. Victory is ours, Decepticons. Autobots and fleshlings alike fly from us like metal shavings in a turbo wind. Guess that's the thing. But while Megatron continues his tirade, Laserbeak's attention is drawn elsewhere to the mining pit's upper rim. And we see Blackrock calling everyone out again. A Decepticon! Donnie, watch out, Barnett says. Huh? Help! As Laserbeak flies off with Donnie and brings him to Megatron. Soundwave says, Laserbeak recognized this fleshling as the fool who claimed a supremacy over us on a video broadcast. Megatron says, then I have two reasons to kill you: for insulting the Decepticons with so contemptible an assertion, and for daring to strike me with a match, as he's about to step on Donnie. Well, wait! Has your brain blown a fuse? Can't you see how I can help you?
I see only a pitiful creature desperately clinging to the last moments of his worthless life. But as Robot Master, I'm in a position to tell the public anything I want about you guys. Isn't it better for you if I can help convince people that instead of being their friends, the Autobots are their enemies, just like you Decepticons? Look how it worked to your advantage today. He speaks logically, Megatron, but I detest every molecule in that fleshling's form. Allowing him to live would be a mockery of every principle I hold dear. And worse, he'd be continuing to the pretense of commanding me. Right, but hey, don't worry. Given the chance, I could sell any story. And so, 45 minutes later, with the help of the equipment left behind by the television crew and Soundwave's communications expertise, regular TV programming across the country is once again interrupted by I, Robot Master, have returned. For those who dared to question the truth of my words, who doubted the breadth of my power, behold Megatron. Upon my order, using but a fraction of his unlimited strength, you see people watching it from a department store, he crushes this boulder to dust. People of the world, my mechanical legions stand ready to do the same to this entire planet. Submit to the will of Robot Master or fall before their savage fury.
And moments later, as the broadcast ends, see Donnie saying, I'm pretty good in this role, Meggie. I think this is the start of a beautiful friendship. Maybe we should do this on a weekly program like a primetime TV series. Really get our message across. What do you say? As he lights another match off Megatron's foot. Fleshling, you presume too much of me. At this moment, your value to me outweighs my loathing of you, but only by the most precariously slim margin. And he picks Donnie up by the cape. For the next cigarette you light could change that equation. And he gives him the finger right in his face. And you would find that smoking can indeed be. And Donnie's like, hazardous to your health.
Next, Plight of the Bumblebee.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's almost like a solo Bumblebee adventure, but I think they kind of like took the I mean, we'll talk about more next week, but I think they kind of like took the synopsis and kind of like carved that and molded it into the Bumblebee movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Bumblebee on his own, befriending some humans, like fighting Decepticons.
Yes. Very nice.
Okay, here's the question I have with some of these stories: is like this is this actually the story Buddy Ansky and everyone like envisioned, or were they like, oh, we might lose people if we just have like all Transformers? We need to throw some like human drama into the mix.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it does create a wrinkle that makes sense if they're trying to make this realistic a little bit into the realm of human understanding. I mean, there's this ongoing thing. You can't really avoid media coverage of these big robots fighting. And I mean, it's a little bit weird that BlackRock knows so much about him anyway. So even if he did speak the truth, it would be unbelievable. So the government working to create this gives it some, I don't know, some believability, I guess.
So, like, what are you saying? It was like all the news people are saying, oh, GB BlackRock's these wild tales of the good robots. Fake news.
Yeah. Yes, I know. It is
Fake news.
similar. The parallels that it draws to from 1986 to now.
That's right.
But yeah, it's just, and again, I don't think Buddy Yansky could pass up the comic book writer being the hero of the story.
Yeah, hero / villain.
Yeah.
And making a lot of money.
Oh yeah. Although I don't think Megatron's going to pay him anything now.
No.
All right. So anything else?
No, I don't got anything else.
All right. So yes, next week, Transformers 16, the big Bumblebee story. Everyone send your thoughts to capesandlunatics at gmail.com. Follow Greetings from Cybertron on Facebook, on Twitter at Greet Cybertron. Follow Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks on Instagram. Voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Call us. Tell us your outlandish tales. Check out capesandlunatics.org, work in progress. And new announcement, I'll announce it here first. You can go to WordPress and sign up for our weekly newsletter where I'll let you know everything we're doing on both podcasts. And I almost forgot, maybe I'll add Greetings from Cybertron onto there too. So
yeah.
So subscribe, go to Capes and Lunatics, what is it, .home.blog, I believe. And you'll get the inside scoop every week of what's coming up on the podcast, both podcasts and on Greetings from Cybertron, only on YouTube. And Matt Kona, where can people find your transmissions?
You can find me transmitting from @Matt Kona, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, that's about it. I live in Boston. Maybe I'll see you if I'm doing comedy randomly on some night of the week. That's about it.
Pretending with some robots.
Yes. The comedy master.
Yes. But thank you again, everyone. But that should be your new on stage persona. Where the whole thing, the goggles, the cape, would be like, I am comedy master.
Ultiman triple pay, like he's getting.
You will tremble before my humor.
My funny bone.
Be bigger than Gallagher. Come on. On stage persona.
As well.
Look how I command the 3-drink minimum. Yeah, so come back next week, everyone. Transformers 16. Until then, go ahead and roll out.